Hi everyone, it's Rox. Welcome back to Rock City, and today I wanted to continue with my series about booking a European vacation. In my earlier video I talked about booking a flight to Europe, and today I wanted to talk about booking a hotel or apartment in Europe. And really that part I think was probably a little bit more stressful than booking the flights. I found both of them stressful, but booking a hotel was very overwhelming for me because the range of choices in the cities that I'm visiting is just overwhelming. There's just choices all the way from, traditional hotels all the way down to apartments. You have things like Airbnbs, you have hostels, which are something that I have not had experiences with, and it was just an overwhelming process for me choosing a hotel. And when I was finally able to get that out of the way, I was so relieved. And so I wanted to share some information with you about my strategy for booking a hotel in the hopes that this will help someone and save them some time and some trouble. So one of the things that you want to bear in mind when you're booking your accommodation in Europe is what your goal of your vacation is. So if you are the type of person who really wants to be close to the attractions that are within a city, you want to choose something that's closer to the city center. Or if you're choosing to sort of have a beach vacation, which is possible in some European cities, then you want to be in an accommodation that's closer to the shoreline. Or if you're just basically trying to have a place to lay your head, then certainly you can choose an option like a hostel and then use that just as your base to sort of go out and explore some of these cities. Another little thing that I'll add to the discussion around choosing a hotel as far as location, it might be helpful to kind of map out the distance from your hotel to some of the major attractions that you are planning on visiting. So for example, I went so far as to look at Google driving directions from my hotel to some of the excursions that I planned to take, and also I looked up Google walking directions, right? So it's so nice to be in a walkable distance to things. And one thing I found when I was booking some of my excursions or looking at the excursions for my European vacation was that unlike in the Caribbean where folks come out to your hotel and they come and get you, for the most part you have to meet folks at a central location in the city. And so if you're going to be doing that on a daily basis, you want to avoid having to take public transportation to get to the location for your excursion, because some of these excursions are very early in the morning, or they may come back late at night and they drop you off, and once again you have to be figuring out how to get to your hotel or to your apartment from your drop-off point. So the closer your drop-off point is to your hotel, the better it will be for you. So make sure to think about that when you're choosing a hotel. And I don't know about you, but when I'm on these kind of vacations, I love to just maximize my days. I love to be out there and be experiencing things. But at the same token, when I come back from a long day walking around, that kind of thing, I like to have very clean, very comfortable accommodations. And I'm at the age now where it's like I have a hard time with anything that remotely resembles backpacking, sharing with other people, things like bathrooms and things like that. So I will admit that in that sense, I didn't even consider hostels. I kind of just excluded them from my search. And there were nice hostels that I saw actually that had pretty good reviews on Expedia and on booking.com, but I just couldn't pull the trigger. So I won't have much information on that, but I will say that the prices were pretty attractive. But I'm willing to pay a little bit more for accommodations that will suit my needs. And really, I gotta tell you, I am kind of a hotel snob. I really don't even like to choose anything that's less than like a 9 on booking.com, and certainly not less than like a 4 point something on Expedia. So that was kind of like my driving kind of philosophy as I looked at this. Like, I wanted to get a good price, but I also wanted accommodation that was clean, well reviewed, comfortable, and that folks would really be able to come in there and use that as a base and kind of move around the city. And I also wanted to be close to certain particular attractions that I do intend to see while I'm in the city, and I wanted it to be walkable. I wanted it to be close to metros and things like that. So that was another thing that was important to me as I was choosing this accommodation. So I like to use places like I like booking.com for some reason when I'm looking at hotels, but there's so many other options. And actually, if you use options like Trivago, which I don't really like their website. I don't like how their search results come back, but you can even go on Google actually, and Google will give you the different prices that they're finding across the different search engines for that hotel, and it also gives you an indication of what the total price is once they include whatever taxes and fees. And then another thing is, like, Google will include the prices in dollars and not in euros, which sometimes that's kind of shocking. You can go on some websites like agoda.com and you'll see prices potentially in euros, and then when they do the translation to dollars, it's like, oh my god, this hotel is way more than I was expecting to pay. So you want to be on a site that's using dollars versus using euros. Then secondly, you want to make sure that you are searching in advance. And really, when you're talking about a hotel, what I found is that as you get closer to your date, potentially prices go a little bit down, and some of the hotels get a little bit more desperate around filling their rooms, so they sort of start dropping prices. So for example, if you look at a hotel right now in Barcelona city center, nice hotels, you'll find that the prices are very low for bookings over the next couple days, right, or over the next week. But then if you're booking, say, 4 months away or 3 months away, 2 months away, the prices are way higher because, you know, their algorithms are still factoring that there is still time for folks to come in and book up some of those rooms. But hotel philosophies are such that they're like, better a body in the room than nothing at all, because any night that they go without someone laying in that bed, they'll never recoup that cost. So they'd rather like drop the prices significantly rather than not have someone in the room over that near term kind of period. But I personally don't like the anxiety that drives, because you don't know if the particular hotel that you want to stay in will have been fully booked by the time that you get around to booking your hotel. So if you're not really particular about an exact hotel, then sure, you can use that option where you wait until last minute. But if there's a particular hotel that you want, I would say that it makes more sense to book it a little bit closer rather than further. So within the 2-month time frame, that's where you'll probably be seeing some of the best prices. And for me, I was thinking, well, I'm going to Barcelona at the start of this tourist season, really. So by then, people are coming in because it's the start of the cruise season, and Barcelona is a huge cruise hub in Europe, and places start getting filled up. And really, the place that I had been eyeing, I noticed that there was only like one left, and I was like, what? A part of me was like, are they lying? Are they really lying? Like, are they trying to like psychologically trick you into buying? Are they really? But then I was like, actually, I didn't even choose a hotel this time. I chose an apartment, and there were like 13 apartments in the whole building, and I was like, they did give me a particular number saying that these are the numbers of apartments left, and they got down to like one, and I was like, man, I better book this thing, because it met all my needs. It was close to transportation, it was very well reviewed, it was beautiful, it was clean, and they also had a few amenities that I was really looking forward to taking advantage of. So I was like, well, let me go ahead and book. And really, I booked, and then the next day I said, let me come back and check this apartment just to see if they're like tricking people when they say only one left on their website. And what do you know, when I came back and said there was no availability, it looks like they were indeed telling the truth for my dates. So I'm glad that I went ahead and booked. So for the folks who want to kind of wait a little bit, I would say be careful with that strategy. You never know how it might work out. You may have to end up going and searching for something else if that doesn't work out. So just to kind of quickly recap my strategies for choosing hotels in Europe. Number one, you want to be sure of the location of the location of the hotel that you're choosing meets your needs and your purposes for your vacation. So if you want to be in the city center looking at attractions, it doesn't make sense to be far away in a suburban hotel where you'll have to take public transportation in at every time you want to come and see anything, which, I mean, in Europe it's not that bad. Public transportation is actually pretty accessible. It's way better than most American cities, so it's not a problem. But I do love to just jump out of my hotel and just start walking around. And then number two, remember that there's tons of options in Europe. You have hotels, apartments, Airbnbs, all of that. You'll be able to really have a plethora of choices as far as what your accommodation will be. And then you also want to make sure that you are looking across lots of different places for the best price for your hotel. And if you are willing to wait until last minute, there may be potentially really great deals, as hotels are looking to book their rooms rather than leave them empty. But for folks who might not want to do that, there's another option that you can actually take advantage of. You can actually book a hotel that actually has a free cancellation up to a certain point. So a lot of hotels, they'll have free cancellation up to even 2 days or a couple days before the booking actually is slated to start. And what you can do is book that as sort of an insurance policy, that for sure you'll have somewhere to stay. And then in the interim, you can set up an alert to see if there's any other options that come up that you would be able to take advantage of. Or you can even set an alert on the same hotel. And if you see a better price, you can cancel your original booking and book again with the better price. So that's something that you can do if you have the time and energy to kind of keep monitoring over an extended period. Those are my tips for booking a hotel in Europe. I know it can be a very overwhelming process. It's not like going to the Caribbean where you have tons of all-inclusives and people are giving you all these perks like free alcohol and free food. If you're lucky, you may be able to find free breakfast, but for the most part, that is not even a thing. Be prepared to, you know, buy whatever you need from a meal perspective outside of the hotel. And also, that's another reason too why it's good to choose hotels that are close to city center and places like that, because you'll be able to access great options for restaurants and that sort of thing. So I hope this video helped someone and really helped to reduce some of the anxiety around choosing a hotel in Europe. And one last point, in terms of like the perfect timing, I would say don't kill yourself in trying to like make sure that you're choosing the most perfect timing. Once you see a price that is acceptable to you based on the budget that you've set for yourself, go ahead and book it. Save yourself the trouble. I caused myself a lot of unnecessary angst over this process, and I hope that no one else has to go through what I did. Thanks for watching my video. I hope this helped someone, and please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Have a great day.